Please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, Subdate 230921.4. LOL, the less than carrot peen who likes his medium rare chicken tried to flag me again, or get his live-in carer to do it on his behalf. How cute. I may send Bork now on an away mission to do a number on his rump and send back evidence. Welcome everyone to the exhibition of My Voice is Fucked Stupid People. Yeah, you're welcome, it actually is a bit balked. Sorry, it's going to be like this for a couple weeks. Today we're going to start with an honourable mention that might become something more I sincerely doubt it. On Tuesday I made a video on Nader El-Shami because he filed 2 privacy complaints and 2 copyright takedown notices. The 2 privacy complaints were on a Nader El-Shami documentary video I did, and a Where Are They Now video I did. The copyright takedown was the documentary video, and then the second of the copyright takedowns was the Foodie Beauty 2021 end of year review. They have not been removed and no privacy has been enforced. In my video I did on Tuesday, I stated I will never flag Nader El-Shami. I won't do it. I'm not a part of any community that would do it, and I stand by my beliefs of absolute free speech. You can say whatever you like about me, I actually don't really care enough. I certainly won't file privacy complaints, because I see no reason to. While you're busy rebuilding yourself on the Naddy Daddy channel, I will continue growing here and on Omegon 2 and on Rumble, and my reading channel. I like it. I might make some new ones soon when my voice returns. Well, after Tuesday's video, I was pretty much proven right, because I got a privacy complaint. Again, here it is, at 1 second to 1 minute. That video for the first 40 seconds is my intro. There's no version of any reality where it was anything other than my begging for likes, my captain's log, and me starting a video. Please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. You cannot claim privacy violations on things that don't belong to you in the first place. This could have been filed by Nader, or it could have been filed by his live-in carer, as I stated in the captain's log. We cannot be certain of these things. Now I know this was an honourable mention and I might have gone a bit longer than anticipated and my voice seems to be improving as we record more, but I'm going to state this now. If you, a creator, cannot handle in the online space that you are going to get criticism, you might not be ready for the internet. I do not filter my comments. There are certain words of course we avoid saying because YouTube, like Twitch, will ban the creator depending on what you say. It happens, by the way. It is not uncommon. But you, Nader, and your Dee the Grey, yes, you filter the comments to the point you have no one engaging in your chat. I don't even know why you bother anymore because you only stream for donos and you don't get many. While you get more than I do, I don't get most of my income from streaming. But I do stream, mostly on Twitch and on the Moistski Live YouTube channel. By all means, go check it out. I talk about one of your greatest conquests there in the form of Big Beautiful Me, who is totally not anymore. So to whichever colossal smeghead filed a 3rd privacy complaint against me, thank you for giving me more free content. By all means, prove me right by how sensitive you are by privacy complaining a part where I essentially just TED talk for 3 minutes. All over Twitter, clips are being shown of Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross is a streamer, not a booby streamer, so no, I doubt you'll want to watch them. Aiden Ross have made a number of claims recently about who they would like to get on their show, Chris Brown being one. I'd rather do a Halls of Injustice on Chris Brown, and then talk about how the Fact Society has managed to forgive, for the most part, Chris Brown. The second was Kim Jong-un. Here's a clip of that, by the way.
This is just warehouse shit. I'm gonna be doing desktop streams throughout the week, but I have Kim Jong-un coming on stream. Chat, so Kim Jong-un will be on stream in the next 48 hours or so. We got Chris Brown coming on at some point this week.
I saw many people talking about this because over and over again in multiple clips, I hadn't downloaded them all, and I'm very sorry about that. Aiden Ross kept on saying Kim Jong-un is gonna be here in less than 48 hours, blah blah blah, Kim Jong-un on the show. Then someone pointed out Howard X, Kim Jong-un lookalike impersonator, was followed by Not Citrus, who is Aiden Ross's manager. That's embarrassing. Well, they got Kim Jong-un lookalike on the show, and Aidan Ross also got somebody else on the show. I'm going to play a clip of that because it tickled me to no end.
To fuck my sister. She really needs a big dick. I mean, look at that thing.
What the fuck?
She is uptight. She's uptight.
You know,
And
let me tell you all a
guarantee
short story. You know, I had no money at all, and I was growing up in Luton on a council estate with a single mother with no money. I had all these dreams of what I'd do if I ever got rich. Andrew, if you make hundreds of millions of dollars, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Turns out I go to Romanian jail and get woken up at 3 a.m. by Aidan Ross to come and talk to a Kim Jong-un impersonator. What am I doing with my life? I'm having a midlife crisis now. What am I doing? I am filthy rich. What am I doing with my life?
I will reserve judgment on this entire pantomime, but I will admit, on the face of it, the idea of getting an impersonator on to talk about incest, there is something funny about that. No doubt YouTube will flag it. F for me in the comments. Moving on, let's do some Star Trek related commentary, shall we? I'm a big fan. One of the only shows that I've never seen is the original series. I guess that makes me a fake, a fraud, a fakery, a falsehood. Same words spoken differently multiple times. Not a real fan. You'll never be a real fan, Meg. Sure, I do have the original series high-def DVD case under my desk. I just haven't got around to watching it yet. Give it time, I'm sure I'll get there. Now, William Shatner recently gave an interview to Sandy Ronaldo of CTV. It didn't go down so well with a number of people, and William Shatner decided to clap back, and I want to talk about it. Kim Smith G Town on Twitter, at William Shatner. I just watched your interview with Sandy Ronaldo. Very disappointed in you, that's all I can say. A reply, quite a lengthy one, from Spooky Bacon. I like bacon, I now like you. I've shot 2 projects with Mr. Shatner in Arizona. He has a uniquely wry and, in my opinion, sometimes sublime sense of humour. William Shatner seemed to be in a fun mood and clearly teed up elements for what could have been a brilliant and fun interview if she could have dropped the cliche interview style and just had fun with language. Call him on his cell while he was looking up the etymology of dote and start the interview on each other's phones sitting across from each other. He's a singer and has done spoken word. There's a big shiny steel guitar right next to her. Resonator it's called, by the way. Bring a respectable vintage of red wine to share and chat about Shatner's character, depth, balance, complexity and length. Maybe save Shatner's length for the director's cut. I understand he credits a rainbow of vitamins for his longevity and energy. Does she take vitamins? Share and compare. Dump them out and play the game of Go with made up rules. How do you lose an artist like Mr. Shatner, who's done countless same old interviews? Tell him you need his eye contact. Missed opportunity. Now that's a key point, because in an article I did find, that's how she started the interview, talking about that and then going down a semantics route. Now, William Shatner actually did retweet Kim and provided additional context. Yes, well, it appears she had an agenda. Her CTV news producer called begging for a 30-minute interview. I relented and said, okay, when I usually only give national outlets 15 to 20 minutes. She then took an hour asking ridiculous questions. I feel it was to get a bad interview so she could play victim for ratings. Read her article. CTV should be ashamed for airing the embarrassment of their employees' agenda. I'm ashamed of the yellow journalism that Canadian news reporters appears to stoop to for eyeballs. CTV won't be interviewing me again after this, so you have nothing to worry about, eye roll emoji. I'm not going to bother reading from the article, but I'm going to read a couple quotes here. You are still a little bit cantankerous, she said to Will Shatner in their new interview. I need the eye contact. He looked away from her then and said, it's going to be this type of interview, I can tell. She then said, there are people who haven't liked you along the way. He replies, you think so? I can't imagine that. No one would not like me along the way, because he and Leonard Nimoy got on so well over the years. When then suggested that the conversation should take a different turn, Shatner replied, are you capable of doing something differently? Look into yourself. Are you able to be a different kind of interviewer? When she told him that their last sit-down didn't go well, Shatner asked, was it cantankerous? Maybe you bring out cantankerousness. I have no recollection of it whatsoever. When she asked him if he was going to leave, he replied, you leave. It's my office. You can be annoyed at William Shatner for all the crappy things he's done over the years, but the guy's 90-something years old and looks better than most people in their 30s. He looks after himself in ways that many of us don't. Of course, I'm going to live forever. I'll outlive Vince McMahon, don't you worry. And I'll outlive William Shatner as well if I'm lucky. Captain Kirk is quite long-lived. And considering how old he is, he's remarkably sharp. He hasn't shown any signs of brain degradation. So people get really irritated on social media with him, especially on Twitter. And I just want to say to those people who do, calm your tits and have a biscuit. Yes, it's on a t-shirt on Teespring, go buy it and support me. But additionally, he's 92. He doesn't care what you think. I was going to clap when I did that and realised it might spike the mic too much. Moving on, I saw Undoomed had tweeted out this. I've got the world's biggest lips. Finding love is hard as men are intimidated. He tweeted it on the 19th of September, and I thought, this has to be a joke. He tweeted, or, and hear me out here. It could be because your collagen-inflated lips make you look like a baboon's ass dressed up as a clown. Now, I think the clown part might be true because the eyebrows, well, they're quite far apart. If the eyes were a bit further and the nose was a little flatter, I think you have fetal alcohol syndrome. That is a choice, much like the lips. But it turns out there was actually an article written about this individual, Andrea Ivanova, aged 25, from February of this year. At that point, she had claimed to have had over 30 hyaluronic injections in her lips, but she planned to go bigger, and she was aiming for cheekbones to match. This Bulgarian Bratz doll lookalike, she forked $8,000 on this pout to secure the title of World's Biggest Lips, a title I always assumed was for being pounded the hardest. Since 2018, she has become unrecognizable, going under the knife now a total of 43 times. But she's also had multiple surgeries elsewhere. Her breasts, her jaw, her chin. She spent over $15,000 on these surgeries. Now she is obsessed with artificial and exaggerated looks by saying, I don't like boring ordinary appearances and I'm a fan of huge shapes and eccentric beauties. While beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I think there's more chance of the elephant man finding a knowingly straight woman to sleep with him than you are finding someone to willingly want to give you a cuddle knowing there's a chance they're going to get smacked with those things. Surely that counts as a weapon, and in the United Kingdom you need a license for it. But it's amusing to me that you are complaining about not finding love with men because they're intimidated. I don't think it's that they're intimidated. I think they've looked at you and gone, no, that'll be interesting on around something, a shaft or some kind. I can't imagine what. We're good asexual Amish people here. But beyond that, can you imagine getting a photo next to you? 60% of it will be your lips. 20% will be your missing eyebrows, because it makes your forehead look bigger, just so you know. And if you're lucky, your partner might feature in it as well. Good luck, I guess. Yeah? Sure. The final thing I want to talk about today concerns an article I saw via the Daily Mail, so by all means disregard if you wish. Dylan Mulvaney has said a few things of late concerning the linking up the official partnership with Anheuser-Busch that cost them $400 million in sales, which is the oddest paid promotion I've ever seen in my life. What made it strange at the time was that it was posted on April the 1st, many thought it was just an April Fool's joke, and people ran with it. It got quite out of control. Recently, Dylan Mulvaney has spoken about the fear of leaving one's home, and when speaking to The Cut, said, I think this has affected a lot more lives than obviously just mine. I just want to add value to any partnership that I do. Part of me was concerned with my well-being, how to keep myself safe, how to keep myself out of a courtroom, how to keep myself successful. And part of me was concerned with being a good person. How do I show up for the trans community right now in a way that I feel like I really can? A piece of advice for you would be to take a step back from the community side because they are also divided anyway. When it comes to raising awareness, how one does it for the sake of optics that benefits everyone is impossible. But also you are seen as quite a polarizing character, not on par with John Cena, because Cena sucks, let's go Cena, but you are polarizing because many believed you to be a trivializing of womanhood person, as opposed to many others who are trans women that just get on with their lives and don't want that kind of negative attention brought their way. If you want to mention a community, you've got to understand that you have to act in the interest of the community. That little ad you did was not in the interest of the community. And many have, of course, flayed Bud Light, who've been overtaken by Modelo, who are also owned by Anheuser-Busch anyway. In that same interview, Dylan described being like a sacrificial lamb in the election landscape, adding that the entire fiasco was a wake-up call and that Dylan is a more realistic person now. But did double down on the belief that Dylan was, never contacted by Anheuser-Busch before or after the collaboration. Which means what? The cam was made on Etsy for you? What? It's a bit sus, let's go with that. There is a lesson to be learned, but it's mostly for Anheuser-Busch, not for Dylan Mulvaney. And that is, if you're going to blast your core audience for being out of touch and fratty, too much of a lads game thing, perhaps consider that your audience might not appreciate you dunking on them to get everyone else to come to you. Bear in mind here, Bud Light is a light beer. It's a table beer that isn't worth drinking. There isn't much flavour to it, and it's light because its ABV is low. It's trash. All light beers are. Whiskey is better. Minimum ABV of 40%. Get good, you absolute peasants. And if you want to support my alcoholism, I have an Amazon wishlist and there's whiskey on there. Thank